नमस्कार दोस्तों। स्वागत है आपके प्यारे से चैनल स्मार्ट करियर एकेडमी पर। और आज हम यहाँ पर परीक्षा जो होने वाली है आपकी प्री बोर्ड की, उसके यहाँ पर क्लास 10th के साइंस के क्वेश्चंस के आंसर डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं। तो आपका 5th नंबर का क्वेश्चन है जिसमें ये बताया गया है कि एक्सोथर्मिक और या एंडोथर्मिक रिएक्शन में से रेस्पिरेशन कौन सी रिएक्शन होती है। तो यहाँ पर हम देखते हैं द रेस्पिरेशन इज अ स्पेशल फॉर्म ऑफ द बर्निंग ऑफ फ्यूल। इट इन्वॉल्व द बर्निंग ऑफ द सुगर विद द ऑक्सीजन with the cell, and every living organism produce the energy needed for all. The reaction of life along with the water and the carbon dioxide as well the waste product is the known is the respiration in an exothermic reaction. So the respiration is an exothermic reaction. Second one question जो आपको और में दिया हुआ है वो यह है oil and fat containing food items are treated with the nitrogen gas. Why? Because maximum number of molecules maximum present in our atmosphere of nitrogen gas. So the nitrogen is non-reactive gas. It does not react easily with any kind of food material, so we use the nitrogen gas full in the food item. Here the answer is nitrogen is an inert gas which is fused in the food item. It does not react with the food item. Remove all the oxygen is present in the food, and the oxygen present for the food item makes the rancidity due to the presence of oils and fat. Nitrogen is a chemical non-reactive with oil and fat. It preserves the oily food item. So the next question is question number 6. What is amalgam? And the second question is what is corrosion? A mixture of a mixture or an alloy of mercury with the number of metals such as sodium, zinc and the gold and the silver as well as some non-metal is known as the amalgam. And the second one question is what is corrosion? The corrosion is produced when a metal corrodes. Corrosion is a natural process and is the presence of the moist atmosphere and the chemical reaction and the chemical activity of a metal get corroded. The corrosion is a process where the water or the moisture on the surface, the metal oxide and the atmospheric oxide, it is an oxidation reaction. Next question is question number 7. So the question number 7 is what the write the Mendeleev principle or the Mendeleev periodic law. And the second question is write the Newland law of octaves. The law they say that the property of elements are periodic function of their atomic number. So they called this Mendeleev law. That is originally statement that the chemical and the physical property of element recur periodically when the element are arranged in the order of their atomic weight. It means they arrange all the element in the periodic table or the Mendeleev table in the category of atomic weight. The next question is what is the Newland law? The octave length is also known as the octave law. An attempt that the classifying of the element in a periodic manner. It is said that when elements are arranged in order of increasing order, if the arrangement of order increasing order of atomic mass, every eighth element has a similar property of the first element. This is the property of element. Question number 8 is what is the difference between the atrias and the vents? And another question is what is the difference between the aerobic and anaerobic respiration? So here is the answer of aerobic and anaerobic reaction. An aerobic reaction takes place in the presence of oxygen, where the anaerobic reaction takes place in the absence of oxygen. Carbon dioxide and water are the end product of the aerobic respiration, while the alcohol is the end product of an anaerobic reaction. Aerobic respiration releases more energy than the anaerobic respiration. Now let's take about the next question. Next question is question number 9. What is vegetative propagation and what is cross pollination? The vegetative reproduction is a kind of the asexual reproduction, the process of the plant like from stems, roots and leaves. It is an asexual reproduction seen in the plant. In fact, the horticulture are use propagation method for the grafting, budding and improve the quality of plant. And the next question is what is cross pollination? Cross pollination is the process of the transferring of pollen grain between the two different plants. That is, a plant are transferred from anther to stigma and the flower to another plant. Let's talk about the next question. So the question number 10 is, how is the sex of child determined in human beings? And the second one is, write the Mendeleev law of dominance. So we talk about the first question. A child biologically sex, it means male or female, determined by the chromosomes that the male parent contributes. The male have the X and Y sex chromosome, while the female have the X and X chromosome. The male can contribute X and Y chromosome, while the female must contribute only the X chromosome. So if the chromosome is XX and if the chromosome is XY, so XX chromosome represent the girl and the XY chromosome represent the male or the boy. Second law is Mendel law of dominance, state that the heterozygote on trait will conquer the presence of another trait from the some characteristics rather than both the allele contributing a phenotype. A dominant allele will be the express exclusively. So the next question is question number 11. What the rule of the reflection and what is the rule of the refraction? The rule of reflection is state that the angle of reflection is equal to the angle of incident. The angle is measured relatively perpendicular to the surface of a ray line. This is the incident angle, and another one is a reflective angle, and this is the normal. Next question is, law of refraction states that the indicate that to the interference of any two give line medium lie on the same place, and the ratio of the sine angle incidence and the sine angle of reflection are constant. Both the angle will be constant. Next question is question number 12. What is Ohm's law? And the second one is, define an electric current. Ohm's law states that the current through the conductor proportional to the voltage across the conductor. This is true from many material providing the temperature and the remains constant. Second one is, the electric circuit are closed loop path which form the network of the electric components where the electrons are able to flow. This path is made of using the electric wires and the powered by the source like a battery. Next question is question number 13. The question number 30 is, what is electric potential and what is resistance? The electric potential, it means the amount of work needed to move a unit charge from a reference point to the specific point against the electric field. If you want to come any positive charge in the electric field, that is known as the electric potential. The resistance measures the opposition of current flow in the electric current. The resistor is measured by the ohm. The symbol is Greek letter by ohm. If the current is passing through any kind of wire or any kind of material, the current is opposed by the material. This is known as the resistance. Next question is question number 14. Write the name of the abiotic compound of the ecosystem and what is the reason of the OR depletion. So the abiotic factor, like a non-living parts ecosystem that are shaped on the environment in terrestrial ecosystem, example like height may be the temperature, light, water. In a marine ecosystem, abiotic factors about the include the salinity and the ocean currents. The main cause of the ozone depletion is the ozone hole are the manufacturing by the chemical, especially manufactured by the hydrocarbon refrigerator and the solvent and the proponent of the foam blowing agent like a CFC chlorofluorocarbon, HFC hydrochlorofluorocarbon, and the ODC ozone depletion substance. They have lifetime about like a 100 years. Now the next question is question number 15. What is the chemical reaction? And explain the combination and the displacement chemical reaction. The chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substance is also called a reactant, and the convert into the one for different substance is known as the product. This reaction is known as the chemical reaction. The first one is the combination reaction. The reaction is where two subsets of element joined together from the single substance is called combination reaction, and the displacement reaction in which a more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal is called a displacement reaction. So the next question is question number 16. Give the reason and give the reason why the sun appears reddish in the early morning. The reason is why the sun appears reddish in the early morning is because of the scattering of light. Because scattering of light is a property of a light, earth atmosphere. The red light, however, has a highest wavelength like a 700 nanometer and the visible spectrum, so that it's only component that the reach of the sky make the appears like a reddish in the early morning. The second question is what is tidal effect, and the example, the tidal effect is means the visible beam of the headlighting of the fog caused by the tidal effect. The water droplets scattering the light making the headlight beam visible. The tidal effect is used in the commercial and the lab setting to determine the practice the particle size like aerosol and the glasses and display the tidal effect. Now the next question one is the question number 17. The question number 17 is what is the property of the magnetic line and what is the law of Fleming right hand thumbs rule. The answer is the magnetic field lines are the lines continuously outside the magnetic field. They are moving from the north pole to south pole continuously in a closed path. The north pole and the terminated at the south pole. They are closed loop that travel inside the magnet. They form a closed loop. The more number of closed line indicate the stronger the magnetic field. If we go through the magnetic field line, you feel the magnetic field. If you go away from the magnetic field line, you does not feel too much effect of magnetic field. The lines do not intersect each other. The lines do not intersect each other. Next question is the hold the right hand finger, middle finger and the thumb at the right angle of each. The forefinger represent the direction of magnetic field and the thumb represent the direction of the motion of the applied force, and the middle finger appoint the direction of the induced current that is produced by the magnet. Now the next question is question number 18. The question number 18 is what is geothermal energy and its uses, and the other question is what is fossil fuel. The geothermal energy is a heat derived with the subsurface of earth. Water or steam carry the geothermal energy of the earth's surface depending on its characteristics. The geothermal energy can be used for the heating and the cooling purpose or the hardness or the greatness of clean the electricity. Next question is what is fossil fuel? The coal, crude oil and the natural gas all they consider as the fossil fuel because they are formed from the fossilized, burned and remain unplant animal in the living of millions of years ago. Because of this reason, fossil fuels have the high carbon content. If you are talking about the disadvantage of the fossil fuels are the burning of coal and the petroleum produce a lot of pollutants. The pollutants pollute the atmosphere and any kind of the pollution is occurs by the fossil fuel. The cause of air pollution, fossil fuels relax the oxidized carbon dioxide, nitrogen and the sulfur dioxide. It is very harmful over environment. It is very harmful for our body. The cause of the acid rain like H2SO4 and the HCl, they are form of the acid rain affecting the soil fertility. The soil fertility is also decreased, and the potable water you cannot take this water if they are contaminated by the pollutants. Now the next question is question number 19. Write the formula of the bleaching powder and what is the plaster of Paris. So here the answer of what is plaster of Paris. The plaster of Paris manufactured by the heating of the gypsum at 423 Kelvin or the 150 degrees Celsius and the 300 degree Fahrenheit. On the heating gypsum at this temperature, it lost the water molecules and become the calcium sulfate helminate. They are produced known as the plaster of Paris. However, the water is mixed with the dry plaster of Paris, restructured by the gypsum. We are talking about the use of the plaster of Paris. They're making the casts and the patterns and the model of the status. They use for the cement ornament and the casting of the making of the decorative material. They also use for the fingerprinting material and the making of chalks. They use for the hospitalization effect of the cause. Here, so यहाँ पर दोस्तों आपके परीक्षा जो प्री बोर्ड है आपकी यहाँ के क्वेश्चन आंसर डिस्कस हो चुके हैं। अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो आप इसे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अपने दोस्तों में शेयर कीजिए, लाइक कीजिए और इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। धन्यवाद।